Seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity.
The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa. We break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime
Our
News.
24-hour news station.
27 days gone already in October, and today is day 28th. It looks as if the day is running ahead towards 2015 general elections. Don't mind me, but you recall when we all woke up into 2014, basking in the euphoria of a new year, and now it's October. Before you close your eyes and open it, it's November, and then very soon we'll be saying Happy Christmas and then another new year. It just keeps going on and on like that. Time never waits for anyone. So the big question is, are you going to rise up today and do what you need to do, or just sit back on your oars and keep procrastinating? No, I'm not going to do that, so I hope you won't do that as well. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Let's kickstart this way with the dailies and find out what are the top stories making headlines on some of Nigerian newspapers. I have The Nation, The Vanguard, and The Punch. Okay, I'm joined already by a veteran analyst here in the studio, Olabode Osenie. Good morning, and thank you for finding time to join us.
Good morning, Nifemi. How are you?
I am terrific. Good to be with you again today. Let's start with the Nation newspaper.
Yeah.
Top story making headlines on the front page of the Nation. Tambuwal joins APC. That is the headline here. And the rider speaker to retain seat after dumping PDP today. There's a little excerpt here that says the speaker will not vacate a seat or resign as a member of the House, because the 1999 Constitution and House rules do not say he must quit. Many, of course, have said that there's been more or less like a romance between the leader, the Speaker of the House, and the opposition party. Why Amechi Saraki are haunted? Ex-governor relieves PDP crisis. That's on page 5 of the Nation. So all the stories now, reps Nigeria on the financial sage. And South Africa's captain shot dead. That's on page 41. Another sad one there. Another day you get to read the papers and it turned your belly. Guinness, Nigeria gets new MD. Get details on page 2. And abductions, no threat to talks with Boko Haram. That's what the federal government is still saying. And if you care to check, you might find out what the details are. Otumba, let's start with the Tambuwal story. Some papers this morning are saying he's set to join today, but the Nation sounds more proactive here. Tambuwal joins APC.
Already like confirmed.
You've seen it coming, right?
Of course, there's some secrets. They're not secrets. They're just like question of time.
Open secret.
Yeah, open secrets. No, I think for a long time now, most of us analysts and people who are also observers in the political and public arena already have this idea. They believe that it's just a question of time. It's just when is it going to be. So if it's openly declared today or tomorrow, it's already, we all saw that coming. So
but then, do you see, some have already started asking the question that, what exactly is the bait for him to join APC at this time? Is he going for presidency? It looks like that race, that position is saturated already in the APC. Do you think he has a chance there?
Well, judging from the way APC had promised promised Nigerians that they want to conduct their business this time around in a very open, free and fair arrangement. So to make sure that nobody is, somebody is doing what they're not supposed to be doing. What am I trying to say is they have said that everybody is entitled to have a go at the presidency.
Okay.
You understand me? Even a local chairman in the APC can also go and get the application form. but he will need to go through the primaries.
But some will tell you that the APC never has a history of credible primary election in some quarters. I'm just quoting some school of thought here.
Yeah, but then again, it's also the same school of thought. We also turn around and say the same problem with the PDP. So they will say PDP also, because the way it is now, it has now been shown that PDP is asking Nigeria that they have no choice. That is my own personal opinion, that they have no choice. They have to vote. You see, the beauty of democracy is when you have choices.
We spoke about that yesterday between primary elections and consensus. One of the analysts we had here said that that's what is obtainable even in developed climes. Barack Obama sounded like just a consensus. There wasn't much of a noise surrounding the primary elections like we saw between him and Hillary Clinton. Every developed nation, oftentimes if the incumbent president is doing well, they just field him to contest again. So it doesn't sound like PDP is doing anything outside the clouds here.
Yeah. Well, when and every time we compare this country with other doing well country, example with America, we are very, very much behind what are obtainable in America. Because before Obama became a consensus candidate, let's take the first time. It was when Hillary Clinton and others now see that they have no chance. But the beginning was like there are many of them that were thrown into primaries, yeah. And if you follow the system the way it works in America, it's not like here. Everything is open, free and fair. It's not no big money, no big bags, changing hands and so on and so forth. So, but like here, what we are seeing with PDP is that there is an organization that goes out and going around collecting signatures according to the way they put it, making us to believe that we asked them to go and do that.
And there's another NOI poll that says that President Goodluck Jonathan is the candidate to beat COM 2050. But let's quickly move away from there now to other sports stories in the Nation newspaper. A U.S. death shocks Ahmed Musa. And that's another very sad story that you'll find on the news today as regards the Bafana captain that was shot dead by alleged robbers in South Africa. South Africa seems to be known for its rising cases of crime. We just heard about the Oscar Pistorius case. Very sad. And we indeed find that
the death of this young man obviously will devastate his family. There's no doubt about it. Any death is not good news for anybody. And we can only offer our condolences to the family and also to the country, South Africa.
Let's quickly move away from there now. Let's find out what top stories are on the Vanguard newspaper. I was forced to fight for Boko Haram. Of course, it's not me. It's a testimony of a 19-year-old woman. And the writers here says, I was given a knife to kill an abducted civilian. She says, life inside Boko Haram camps by abducted woman. And federal government may be negotiating with the wrong group, says Islamic scholar. I'm afraid we don't have pictures of that to show you now, but it did sat on the front page of the Vanguard. To other stories, how lack of amenities sabotages healthcare delivery in Lagos. That's on page 36 of the Vanguard. And Rivers, Amechi took on federal government, not Jonathan, says Rivers government. And this one says federal government removes VAT on stock market transactions. That's page 9. Nigeria needs $5 billion to sustain economy, says Okonjo-Iweala. That's on page 8. Although the coordinating minister of the economy said recently that Nigeria is not broke. But this very sad story from someone who has been in the devil's den, or let's call it the lion's den now. I was forced to fight for Boko Haram. 19-year-old woman. How do you put all of these sad stories, these release of the abducted Chibok girls that did not come the same day federal government promised it will come? How do you place it side by side with the ongoing ceasefire agreement?
It's a trickish one because tricky in the sense that most abducted people that we had, even in other countries, they always come out that we're asked to do this. I'm forced to go and do certain things. Even I'm asked to go and steal money or to go and whatever, rape and all that kind of thing, which could amount to they have been brainwashed. You understand me? But then at the end of the day, there has also been cases where people that are abducted, gone out there, and famused, run away. So the option is also probably there for these women, because as you go out there, probably, I believe, probably she has been followed by one or two people that go do it, what we ask you to do. She might not have a choice, but then do what she has to do. But then we also had in history where people have been forced to go and do certain things, and they refuse and say, instead of doing that, I'll kill myself because I cannot do it. So that's a very difficult one. But you see, the main problem here, Nifemi, is we are still dilly-dallying, we are still playing with lives of human beings here. And that is very, very worrying. It's not only worrying to me as a person, but I'm sure most other countries all over the world, and many people in this country wake up in the morning and say, what exactly is going on? How many days now? How many months? Well over 6 months. And we are yet to know exactly what is going on. Yes, at a time we agreed also on this program that federal government should do whatever they want to do. They can cover, they can block, they can do whatever as long as they achieve. Because what an ordinary Nigerian wants to see or hear is these girls have been released. And I don't think that is too much for anybody to ask for. You understand me? But from all look of things, and from when you look at the way we politicize things, the way some of the people that are supposed to portray the image of this country nicely will go out there, will start making silly comparisons. That Malaysia airline run a miss and they did not find that. What has that got to do with our children here? You understand me?
And the Islamic scholar on the front page of the Vanguard says federal government may be negotiating with the wrong group. Do you buy that idea?
Again, that will, if that happened to be, then I will be one of the first person to say, what is going on here? Why are we getting it wrong? Because by the time you go into negotiation, you should know that you are going into negotiation with all the groups. There's something in law that says, if I know, if I want to sue you and you have 2 or 3 backers, and I know you will say, it's not me, I will then join all of you together. Again, we also said it. Federal government, all the time, they have all the wherewithal, they have all the resources to make sure if Al-Shabaab will be one of those people you need to call, you understand me, then go ahead and do it.
It's all right. Let's move away from there to the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch this morning, the Oyo PDP crisis seems to be the top story here. Party leaders, aspirants, battle Patience Jonathan. We will appreciate it if she stays off our party affairs. Her actions are making some members to feel that she's controlling her husband. Well, that's from a party official. You get details of that on page 2 of the Punch. The front page picture here shows alleged imposters of Federal Inland Revenue Service officials after they were arraigned before a federal high court in Abuja. That was on Monday. Adetu steps down as Guinness Nigeria MD. Page 33 of the Punch. Ogun, Bayelsa, 3 others to get airports. Page 36 of the Punch. And policeman loses eye after attack by naval rating. Pages 4 and 5 of the Punch. And Jonathan, 2015, Jonathan picks nomination from Wednesday, page 13. Other stories here. Federal government sues NBC Coca-Cola over quality. Page 36. I've not tasted the difference yet, but I believe federal government knows what it's talking about. Boko Haram raped, beat us, says abducted girls. That's on page 2. An NFF crisis, president invites Pinnick. You get details of that on page 73. Let's start with this Coca-Cola issue. There's this opinion that they just give us substandard stuffs here in this part of the world. They will tell you that there are certain goods we use here that by the time you step out of the country and you experience the same...
It tastes different. You can see it. You can taste the difference.
You can tell the difference. Oh, why is it so?
It's all business of specifications. A business of the value you put into certain things. If everything is not corrupt, if we are not corrupt in everything we do, there's no reason why we cannot get good quality value for our money. What do I mean? If I'm drinking Coca-Cola here and I go to Mexico, because Coca-Cola has got a standard, you understand me? But if we choose to lower that standard here, that is us. I'm not going to blame Coca-Cola Inc., the whole corporation. You understand me? It's also one of the reasons I was told that out of these eateries, the fast food chain, McDonald's refused to come because they said, no, you know what? We got a quality, we got a name to protect, and we cannot come to your place and to be subjected to corruption, certain things that we have to lower our standard. We're not going to go for it. Like, but others say, you know what? Let's go in there. We do what we have to do. So the point I'm making here is, if a country like Nigeria cannot put their feet down and say, you know what? The standard cannot be less. You understand me? If we want to do something different from the one you have in Kentucky or whatever, we will tell you. But you see, all these area of support and need have been thrown to the dogs. Because of what? Because of the bribe, because of the money we stand to get or gain out of it. And I'll give you a quick example. There was a time when an airline company from the UK promised and said, you know what, it's cheaper for me to run Lagos-London return at a specific amount of money. You understand me? And I will cap it for 5 years. Yeah? But because the man ended up having to pay so much bribe, he was so disgusted, he was so angry. So I'm not going to be surprised if Coca-Cola Nigeria tastes less, you know, the quality you get even in Ivory Coast.
So right, we're going to take a break now, but let's just quickly touch on this NFF crisis. I'm sure you heard about it. Once it was Chris Giwa, and then the FIFA came up with an ultimatum, and then we had PD, and Giwa went back to court, and now the court ordered the election that was held null and void. And it looks as if Nigeria just seems to be at the eye of the storm as regards football and sports. Do you think that it's high time that we began to do certain things right, especially?
Yeah, that's another one where I can easily say to everybody that we like to personalize and also put politics in everything we do. I think it's clear. The issue here. I'm not a very I'm not very sporty kind of a commentator, but I can tell you that issues relating to this sports business here is clear. The FIFA, the World Organization, say you want to be a member, you have to follow, comply with our rules. It's not by force. Nigeria can choose to say, you know what, I don't want to play football. China and some other country probably are not member of FIFA. They will say, I don't want to play football. We can choose to say we don't want to play football. But if we choose to sign the contract with FIFA, we must apply. We must allow ourselves to be governed by that, because that rules that FIFA is talking about is only for FIFA, it's only for playing football and some other sport, nothing more. And I don't know why the government has to be sponsoring certain things that can be left in the hand of private people. And the result is what we are getting now. And I think it's better that FIFA, go ahead and say, you know what, enough. And then we see how we are going to get out.
Let's hope that Mr. President's involvement this time will bring some lasting solution to these NFF crisis. President invites Pinnick. We hope that Chris Giwa is also invited, and all of these are all together put to
and quickly, Nifem, and I hope the presidency in this whatever will now say to them, you know what, my hands, I want to leave you guys go and do what you have to do.
Do you think Mr. President was involved prior to this time?
I don't even know why it should be. I don't know why. In the first place, I mean, the advisors to Mr. President have said, you know what, sir, this area is football, and this area is governed by outside arrangement, like all over the world. It is not an exemption that FIFA say you either be a member and follow and comply, or you leave and do whatever you want to do.
All right, we'll take a break now, and we'll be back with you on Call Digest Tuesday. Don't go away.